All right, third point. Okay, I'm going to teach you something called the power hour. Now, because this is all powerful in theory, but real life is loud, right? Distractions pull us into old habits every single day. That's why we need a daily anchor to reset your mind and train it for gratitude, not guilt or anything else, okay? So I call this the power hour. It's the final 60 minutes before you go to sleep. Now, why is this so powerful? It's because your brain does not shut off when you sleep. Spoiler alert, okay? In fact, sometimes it does most of the important work while you're out cold, okay? Because your brain has two major modes, right? Number one, which is the conscious mind. That's your logical, goal-setting, decision-making part. But the second mode is your subconscious mind, okay? This is the deeper part that runs your habits, your beliefs, and your emotional reactions. Remember, your habits, your beliefs, and your emotional reactions. So throughout the day, your conscious mind is busy handling tasks, choices, and making choices and reacting to stress. But when you sleep, that gatekeeper powers down, and your subconscious mind takes over to process and file away what you fed it. Okay? So I want you to hear me say this. The last things that you focus on before you fall asleep become the raw material your subconscious mind sorts, organizes, and solidifies as beliefs or patterns while you sleep. Sleep researchers and neuroscientists have shown that your brain actually rehearses and reinforces thoughts in your sleep cycle. This is huge, you guys. It does this through memory consolidation and something called neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to rewire itself. So if you fall asleep replaying your failures or comparing yourself to others or worrying about what you haven't done, you're literally training your brain to expect more of that tomorrow, right? That's crazy. But if you spend those final moments, that last 60 minutes, focusing on progress, gratitude, and purpose, you're feeding your subconscious mind healthy fuel. So in simple terms, your last thoughts become tomorrow's beliefs. Hear me say that again. Your last thoughts of the day become tomorrow's beliefs. That's why the power hour is so transformational. So here's how you do it. Okay. Number one, you shut down your screens. All right. The last 60 minutes. Research shows that scrolling social media or news right before bed spikes cortisol, which is your stress hormone, making it harder for your brain to rest and repair. I was looking at some statistics the other day, and I think it's like 96% of Americans spend the last 60 minutes scrolling on their phones, right? But 90% actually scroll the phone in bed while they go to sleep. That's like a no bueno, guys. That does not do your brain well, okay? Number two, grab a journal and reflect instead of scrolling, okay? This is real simple. I want you to write down 3 wins for today. Small wins count. It all counts. Maybe you chose patience over anger. Maybe you showed up for dinner fully present. Or maybe you hit the gym and you didn't feel like it. Whatever the case might be. And it could be other things like, you locked in a new client or blah, blah, blah. You could pitch this thing and it went well. This conditions your brain to measure backward to see the gain. Remember, always measure backward. Then you're going to write 3 wins for tomorrow. Okay? So give your mind clear instructions because it's going to meditate. It's going to stew on that for the next 8 hours. So what do you want to create tomorrow? This simple intention setting acts like a GPS while you sleep. Your subconscious works behind the scenes, organizing ideas, solutions, and energy to help you move forward toward those wins. Okay? Number 1, right? Write the gains from today. Number 2, write the gains you're getting after tomorrow. Number 3, I want you to reflect. Spend some time visualizing, reflecting on the gain. I want you to ask yourself, where did I catch myself in the gap today? And how did I flip it into the gain? Now, the science backs this up, right? Because we know practicing gratitude daily can boost sleep quality by 25%. That's massive. Visualizing tomorrow's wins primes your mind for better focus and problem solving. And your brain's default mode network, which is the system that processes memories and emotions, stays active while you sleep. So you get to decide what it works on. You actually give it stuff to work on, which is powerful. So when you do this every night, you're not just going to bed, okay? There's so much more than that. You're giving your brain marching orders to rehearse gratitude, cement confidence, and to wake up with purpose. So in short, you boost your gratitude and your confidence, right? You improve your subconscious state while you sleep. You wake up aligned to your purpose. And you train your mind to measure backward, not forward. And you break that loop of endless striving. And if you run this simple power hour for the next 30 days straight, you will feel like a different man, brother. Let me tell you. It's true. Because your brain will literally be wired to look for gains, not gaps. Okay, this is called neuroplasticity. This is how your brain is literally malleable. It can change and you can change the way you think. This is how you stop chasing the carrot and start living from a place of real contentment and power. Does that make sense? Now, last thing. You can't obsess about being in the game, right? Because if you start being in the gap, because if you start beating yourself up, oh man, I'm in the gap again. Man, I'm such a loser. Why can't I figure this out? I'm the worst. I got so much work to do. What are you doing? You're turning this whole concept into a gap mindset, right? So have grace for yourself and gently remind yourself to get out of the gap and into the game. Okay, stop looking forward, measure backward, okay? Because if you're not careful, you'll actually turn this whole thing into another gap trap. Does that make sense? Friend, if you're listening to this, no, you are not falling behind, right? You are not failing. We all struggle with this, okay? We all fall into the gap trap multiple times a day. That's a part of life. But you can do something about it because you're just measuring yourself the wrong way, right? When you live in the gap, you'll never win. When you live in the gain, you'll fuel your growth with gratitude instead of shame. When you build your prime filter, you will define success on your own terms, no one else. When you commit to the power hour, you will anchor yourself daily to the man that you're becoming. So if you want more peace, if you want more fulfillment, more joy in your marriage, in your fatherhood, in your career, whatever, in your goals, this is how you get it, okay? Because like I said before, whether you like it or not, the future is coming. Are you going to get there? Now, there can be two versions of you that get there. The first version is going to be the one that's been living in the gap, comparing himself to some future ideal that's unmeasured, that's undefined, and he's stressed out, checked out, and burned out. Or the other version is the one that's been living in the gain. And that version is content, he's confident, and he's excited to be there. So which version of you do you want to be there in the future? Only you get to decide that.